Have you ever had a really good idea or a dream or something you were inspired by, but then someone you know talked you down? So don't let people shit on your dreams. Have you ever had that, right? And so in this video, I'm gonna break down what I think is the biggest key that's radically changed my life, how I've been able to apply it into my life, and how you can use it to not take things personally when other people want to tell you no, reject you, and stop you from pursuing your dreams. So my name's Jake with JakeDucey.com. Make sure you hit the like button right over there. And right there down below is my free success hypnosis. It's JakesHypnosis.com right there down below. And I'll see you on the other side. So here's what I learned was this phrase, SW.SW.SW.SW. So it says, some will say yes, some will say no. So what? Someone's waiting. And that's from Jack Canfield in his book, The Success Principles, the creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. He says, SW.SW.SW.SW. Some will say yes, some will say no. So what? Someone's waiting. Or said another way, some will encourage you, some will discourage you. So what? Someone is waiting. And I realized this breaks down into three big ideas, and I want to share them with you. So the number one that I have here on my notes is sometimes God puts no's in your life so that you can learn how to find the courage to say yes to yourself and yes to your faith that God will provide for you. And then number two says, someone will always be jealous of people that are trying and achieving and striving in life. Most people are so afraid of truly being alive that they feel habitually threatened by anyone who does feel alive. Anyone who is breaking out of their comfort zone and not being a little weenie, they feel habitually threatened by them because it assaults their entire identity of being a weenie. And so naturally, they unconsciously gravitate and project that out as negative energy against your dreams, but it's really just their jealousy. And then number three, just remember SW.SW.SW.SW. 4 SWs. Some will say yes, some will say no. So what? Someone is waiting. Some will encourage you, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. And it sounds like a bunch of nice motivational sayings and quotes, right? And so just to not be, another person that's just telling you something that I'm not living, I want to share with you some hilarious and at the time pretty embarrassing stories of me applying this into my life and how I learned this, because I read it. I read it in the books, maybe like you. I read this type of stuff in the books. I watched it on YouTube videos. And then I had this big dream to become a big published author. I dropped out of college. I backpacked around the world. I went out to publish my first book. No one would publish it, so I had to self-publish and promote it all on my own and get my work out. And I had some pretty embarrassing things happen to me. And all of these things that I was reading about started popping into my head. Okay, so get this. Picture me, I'm like 21 years old, my hair's really, really long, probably the longest it ever been. I'm this 21-year-old kid, and I've got this book that I self-published called Into the Wind, my 6-month journey wandering the world for life's purpose. So imagine you're in your local bookstore and you see all these chairs lined up, 50 of them on a little stage at your local bookstore, and the signs say, author to speak shortly. Well, that author was me, and this was my self-published book, and I was trying to figure out how to sell 10,000 copies because I was told I needed to sell 10,000 copies to get a book contract with a big publishing company. And so I show up to my speech organized by the local independent spiritual bookstore. There's like 50 seats, and 2 of them are filled. And they're 2 by 2 middle-aged folks, not sitting together on different ends of the seats. And I was to give like a 20-30 minute speech and talk about my book. So I do this whole talk and try to get everyone fired up, tell them about the story, tell them about the book, explain to them why they should buy it. And this lady stands up at the end I'll literally never forget her. It was the first stranger that ever kind of attacked me. And she was like, well, I don't believe any of this. And she just went off, she went off. And it was like her and I mean, no one else was in the crowd. So it wasn't that embarrassing because the room was already empty to begin with. But it's like my first or second public appearance, if you even call it that, or my second public disappearance. And this lady, who I'm thinking maybe I'll at least get 2 people that'll buy the book, and she's arguing me. What year did this, and what city was that? Like that. And I didn't even know what to do. And eventually I kind of disarmed it, and then I left shortly thereafter and got in my car, and I was kind of taking a breath. And maybe you can think of a time like that in your life where something so unexpected happened and it totally overwhelmed you in your career, in your financial goals, in your health, in your relationships. Some way life just put you on your butt and you weren't expecting life to put you on your butt. And somebody just shows up and it's crazy. They're really, they don't like what you're doing, or maybe it's your parents that you don't see that often and they don't like your idea to build your own business, whatever it is. Some will say yes, some will say no, so what, someone's waiting. Some will encourage you. Some will discourage you. So what? Someone is waiting. Someone is waiting for whatever it is that you have. Whether you sell real estate, whether you fix cars, whether you want to spend more time with somebody, someone is waiting. Some will say yes. Some, I would cross out some and I would say many. Many will say no, but so what? But what most people go is, as soon as someone says no, they say, okay. And they just shrink, because we're taught to shrink in our world, and we're taught to stay in our place in this world. So I want you to just repeat that phrase, and I want you to think of one area where you can apply that into your life from Jack Canfield. Some will say yes, some will say no, so what? Someone's waiting. And when you get past that, you get past that threshold, and you just finally get to the point where you're like, I don't care. That's when you literally start attracting all the great things. When you literally stop caring at all. And you know this is your purpose, this is what you're meant to do, you're inspired for it, you care about this thing, you're committing to whatever it is, and you're not stopping regardless if someone says no, regardless if somebody attacks you, regardless if somebody doubts you, regardless if somebody is jealous of you, regardless if somebody tries to stop you. And once you get to that point, that's when all the magic happens. But most people stop before they get there. So some will say no, so what? So hopefully you enjoyed this little motivational pep talk. If you did, give me a comment down below. Let me know if you relate to my story, if you can apply it in some area of your life. Give me a comment down below and let me know. I have a free success hypnosis. It's right there down below. It's jakes.SW.SW.SW. It's pinned to the comments and in the description if you go right there. It's jakes.SW.SW.SW, and it's my free success hypnosis. I've been using it for about 10 years, and this is what really changed my life. Every time I was told no, every time I wasn't sure, when I wasn't getting signs from the universe or things weren't quite working out, I just kept brainwashing myself. I kept mind controlling myself so the outside world didn't brainwash me, so my present circumstances didn't brainwash me. So I would plug this in, I'd listen to it, and I'd mentally rehearse my success, the things in my imagination, my dreams or goals that hadn't yet materialized. And I would just start using the success hypnosis in my imagination to take me back into that powerful place. And you can use it as well. About 1 million people from all over the world have used it. It's free. It's right there down below. It's jakes.SW.SW.SW in the description and pinned to the comments. Hit the like button on this video, bell notification, subscribe, send it out into the YouTube universe. Give me a comment down below. Let me know where in the world you're coming from. I'm in the southwest of the United States. Love to know where in the world you're coming from. Thanks for watching this video. I know there's 1 million videos on YouTube and you could have watched any one of them. So hopefully you'll be back again.